in for a workout today. No roster move at this time. Maurice Harris, former Redskin, DeAngelo Hall, he was one of the guys in. Okay. But Antonio Brown, yes, that was the guy that got the most attention. Peyton was asked about him repeatedly to the point where he said, does anybody have questions about our game on Sunday? But when you bring him in, you get that attention. And when you bring in Antonio Brown for a workout in Week 17, you also get a camera crew and an entourage. That's what Antonio Brown showed up with yesterday. That's what I was told, referred to by a Saints source as the whole bleep show showed up with Antonio Brown. Your thoughts on that? Your thoughts about the workout in general?
Hey, look, I'm all about players being stars and promoting their own brand. But, AB, we just need to get you on the roster right now first, buddy. Like, leave all the other stuff behind right now, and let's focus on getting on a football field. And so that would be my advice for AB, man. Tone it down just a little bit.
Let me tell you something. This is going to be one heck of a documentary because he's had the cameras with him from when he left the Steelers all the way to going to the Raiders, to leaving the Raiders, to the Patriots, then to limbo, and now potentially being a Hey, listen, Sean Payton's looking at it like, hey, what's the problem with the headache if it only lasts for a couple of weeks and I can get a heck of a player in here to complement Michael Thomas? We'll see. Right now, nothing. Colleen, over to you.
All right, thank you. It is time, once again, to reveal the final members of the NFL 100's all-time team. Last night, we wrapped our 6-week series naming the top players in NFL history. The 2-hour special focused on the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So, the list of 10 quarterbacks looks like this. Sammy Baugh, Tom Brady, John Elway, Brett Favre, Otto Graham, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Roger Staubach, and Johnny Unitas. So obviously some legendary players on this list, but also some great guys left off the list. For some reaction, we send it out to LA and Chris Rose.
It took 6 weeks, but we got there. We have the NFL 100 all-time team, and on Friday they unveiled the 10 quarterbacks on the list. Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, is here, as is the coach Steve Mariucci. And guys, the list of quarterbacks, it's amazing. Ton of rings, championships, MVP awards. There is no Drew Brees on this list. Were you shocked, Kurt?
Well, again, when you go through the process, I don't think you're shocked, especially if you've watched the other shows, because there's guys, it seems, at every position that I go, well, that guy could have been on there, and that guy could have been on there, and that guy could. I think when we're in this era, though, and I've watched this guy play, and a couple weeks ago I watched him break the all-time record for touchdowns. I watched him break the all-time record for yards. I mean, when you start thinking about those kinds of things, and then I think about the way I played the game, his ability to process and his ability to be accurate with the football are second to none in the history of our game, in my opinion. So, yeah, I look at this list. I have no idea who I would take off, but Drew Brees is a guy that I say, with everything that he's done and the way he plays the game, Coach, he should be on the list.
Yeah, and we've had this discussion before, and 10 quarterbacks in 100 years doesn't seem like enough.
Right.
I mean, we need more quarterbacks on this list, but, we wanted to be fair and be with special teams and defense and all of that. And if this is going to create the most discussions and kind of maybe some spunky discussions as to who should be on it, probably more so than any other position. And Drew Brees, the other thing is this. We had Peter King sitting here a couple weeks ago.
One of the selectors of the Blue Ribbon panel.
He was on 26 on the committee,
yeah.
And it was tough for them because they had to weigh 100 years and include the golden era, early 20s and 30s and 40s back in there, and include those guys. And they don't have some of the numbers that we have now. We have more games, more
Yeah.
And it's just hard to choose, especially if a guy is still playing. Out of the 100, there are only 3 guys that are currently still playing.
And I understand that, but if you look at the guys that did make it that are still playing, they're all guys that have played forever. Tom Brady, Larry Fitzgerald, Adam Vinatieri.
Forever, yeah.
And to me, Drew's another one of those guys. It's not like he's in year 8 or 9. I mean, he's played, 18 years in the National Football League. I mean, that's a long time. I think he's accomplished a lot. That I'm with you. I understand that. But it's not like this guy's just starting. I mean, he's closer to the end. I don't know. I mean, look at the numbers. It's just ridiculous.
I'm such a Drew Brees fan, and this season I just marvel at how he plays. He's just the prototype quarterback. When I saw him in the summer before he left to go, to New Orleans. He's playing football over at the park with his kids. And this guy is a football fanatic. We know that. And he's got that relationship with Sean Payton. That some of those coach-quarterback combinations over the years were just great. And this is another one. But you know what? He's not done. He's not done. He still plays like a young guy. I can see him playing several more years.
So he makes the next list. He makes the next list. I don't know when that is, but he makes the next one.
He'll be on that list, right?
Okay. Hey, in 10 seconds, give me one guy to start your team with that made this franchise.
This quarterback?
This whole 100. Give me one guy.
I probably want Jim Brown.
I could take Reggie White, too, in a pass league. I might take him as well.
Can I reconsider? I might take Jerry Rice. I might take Reggie White or Joe Montana. You better cut me off.
Which doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, there's
Congratulations to everybody that made the squad.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's talk about this right now because there are obviously some glaring omissions on this list. You have the all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns not making the all-time team. Drew Brees.
The record most quarterbacks are chasing, Drew Brees owns. And he's not on the list. I don't know. I know y'all guys had a lot more to say about this than me. But
I'm watching it last night, and I'm taking to the Twitters because that's where I'm going to see what the reaction is. Not a lot of Sammy Ball acolytes have Twitter accounts. So naturally, a lot of the responses were more toward the active guys, the people that we're watching right now, Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. So the debate between those two, because if you're going to put one of those two on, you've got Drew Brees. If it's a stat thing, he's got your stats. If it's an overall talent at the quarterback position thing, it's Aaron Rodgers to me. So I just those are the two snubs that you're looking at right now from the current era here. I don't know what more you'd need to see from Drew Brees to think that he needs to belong here because he's got all those numbers. With Rodgers, you could say, okay, maybe he should have done more with all that ability that he had.
My thing is, what are the markers? Is it championships? Is it numbers?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Keep going. Yes. I don't know. It's an all-encompassing thing.
You know what I mean? Because of his numbers, Drew Brees.
Well, but you can't compare Sammy Ball's numbers to Drew Brees' numbers. Or,
what are we talking about?
But that's the whole point of the whole exercise is could these guys go from era to era?
No.
I thought it was fascinating to watch how they broke down Chris Collinsworth and Bill Belichick, Sammy Ball's quarterback mechanics, or lack thereof, by the way. He's backing up, just backpedaling. That's how he's getting into his drop. He's throwing with 1 foot out here, 1 foot out here. It's tough to compare these guys. That guy's not going to go throw for 50,000 yards.
No.
Different era. I'm knocking my phone over.
You think about the fact, like, before Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara were with Drew Brees, who did Drew Brees really have besides Jimmy Graham in terms of, like, guys around him, talent surrounding him? I mean, he did a lot with not a ton.
Marcus Colston, he turned into a household name.
That's a guy but that's not a guy a lot of people know. I know because I competed against him, but I absolutely have a problem with Drew not being on the list. I competed against him, and when you talk about I competed against Peyton as well, and Tom Brady and Brett Favre, and when you talk about the way those guys played the game, Drew belongs. And I'm tired of people not giving Drew his due respect. They give Emmitt Smith his due respect, right? Emmitt played a long time. Emmitt amassed a whole lot of yards. We don't sit here and say Emmitt's the #1 running back of all time, do we? No, it's always Jim Brown. It's always Walter Payton. Barry's in that conversation.
People don't miss you till you're gone.
Yeah. I love Drew, though, man. Drew, you're my boy, Drew.
It's because he's short, isn't he? We're always overlooked, all right? But we're going to keep fighting and proving you wrong out there.
When you read prompter, you do that.
Bummer, they cut you off.
Good one, Betty.
So if you missed last night's 2-hour episode, you are in luck because it's on again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern. Rich, Chris, and Bill discuss the top 10 quarterbacks in league history, and you can see it. The Raiders. We'll start in Seattle because welcome back, Marshawn Lynch. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this yet, Mike Rob.
I got to spill the tea. Yeah.